I am the host, Richard Ravenbrook, a man, a life coach, and a spiritual mentor who has endeavored to find real spiritual truth and self-enlightenment. With experiences in various ministry types, pagan traditions, and even magical paths. With a love for Mother Earth and a balance of life, I work to channel spirit and to help educate and mentor those striving to deconstruct from mainstream religion and to empower them to find the divinity within themselves and to the truth around them. The messages are focused on everyday life, creating an environment of real coexistence, a world of mutual respect, love, and dignity. The pagan preacher is all things, the preacher and the pagan, speaking from the wisdom of spirit. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Getting back to where we were last week, talking about deconstructing. You know, deconstructing is not walking away from anything divine, but it's walking away from man-made religion, man-made temples, man-made churches, man-made theories. It's walking away from the chaos, the turmoil and the confusion that we see in modern day corporate religion. We see it in the Christian churches everywhere. Hundreds of different denominations, all calling themselves the same thing, Christian, but teaching different doctrines, different ideas, different practices. Arguing on social media, arguing in places that just never should see these things. But seeing all of this, finding peace is why we deconstruct. Finding completion, finding that space that makes us feel complete and full. That we seek spirituality from spirit, not from man's confusion and man's viewpoint. Because we can see when we look out what mankind has done with truth. All of these different theories and practices. It's a theological madness. Everyone's screaming that they know the truth and they have. And the very idea, the very fact that there are so many different practices, so many different religions, it leads to the evidence that they don't. That man's made religion, is so flawed that we can't even decide for ourselves what is truth. Christians can't even decide for themselves what they're going to believe. If someone argues or finds difference in theology than another Christian, they begin another church, rather than trying to find the truth of the matter. If that truth truly even matters. Or is it something that's so minute, so simple, that it truly has no place even being argued about? But when we deconstruct, that's what we're doing. We are striving for peace. We're striving for truth. And we know that we can't find it in the mainstream. We can't find it in modern day church. We can't find it in just modern day religion, period. Whether it had truth many years ago, or if it's been tainted ever since man got its hand on it. That's the question. That why would the divine have a truth, have that truth available for everyone, but then be so much chaos, so much confusion when all it would take is one divine encounter with the world, and there'd be no question left. The answer to that is because not that the things within religion are all wrong, but that we have it wrong in perspective. We have tried to create something that doesn't exist. We have tried to eliminate the things that are needed. And we have missed the mark, missed the purpose, missed the whole idea of what spirituality is even about. We've lost touch with our connection with life, with the earth. We've lost connection with all the things that live and breathe around us, that show us divinity, show us truth, show us even the meaning of life. Not in words, because when Spirit speaks, it's not always in words. Very seldom is it in words, but it is in revelation, epiphany, an instant recollection of truth. It's like seeing something and just instantly knowing everything that you need to know about that entire subject in a matter of a second. You know, I learned the meaning of life from a vision that I had. And the vision was so simple. It was the scenery of a forest and a gentle brook going through it. A fawn, a baby fawn just walking through, taking a drink out of the brook. You could hear the birds singing in the trees, and the wind just gently blowing through the leaves to where you could hear Earth herself breathing. You could see life. You could see and feel the joy of the Creator in all of this. And you can see the purpose of what life is about, life in this experience. But we can't do those things with man-made religion. We can't feel that. Now, many people are going to say, well, I feel the Spirit all the time in church. It's not the same. And trust me, I'm not saying that you can't find divinity, that you can't find the Creator of all things. You can't find it in a four-wall building, because you probably can. You can. But it doesn't mean you can't find it outside of that either. And sometimes when deconstructing, sometimes the chaos of all the people trying to tell you what is right, what is wrong, what you need to do and what you should stay away from, sometimes that is more of a hindrance on your path than just trying to listen to Spirit. Because a good teacher doesn't necessarily teach you anything, but rather guides you to the teaching, if that makes any sense. Because a true teaching is something that awakens the soul, awakens within us, not just a mental recollection and remembrance of something, but something that is sparked within us. That's a teacher. A teacher that moves souls, changes souls, spirits. When deconstructing, I don't care what your religion are, or what your religion is, I say pagan as an umbrella term. And under pagan, there are many different traditions. Some would even say that they are not pagan, but they are listed basically under that, regardless, because they are outside of the Christian faith. outside of the Abrahamic faith. All of those are considered, at least in my opinion, under the umbrella term of paganism. Because most of them, including, Hindu and everything else, usually manifest more than one God, speak of more than one God. They consider goddess and God. And though you may not understand that yet, given time you will. And these podcasts are going to move forward into those things. I know that we have been talking a lot about world events and things of that nature and trying to find world peace and but Spirit's finally said that, you've done what you can do. Now it's time to make the people ready. Help the people find the peace. Help people find that truth that is within them. To find the I am within all of us. That which you were before you were born into this earth. Because do you realize that you existed before this physical experience, and that you will continue to exist even after this physical experience is over? Finding that I am that's within you is the key to unlocking those truths. In deconstructing, you have to understand that it isn't that you deny the existence of a God, but that you believe that the books, the stories, and the perceptions of what has been taught have been incorrect, wrong, and mistranslated, and some occasions purposely. But you can still find that you still believe that the man Yeshua existed, and that all these other people existed within the world. Buddha and Copernicus and Pluto and all these different great minds all over the place. That we can look at these things, that we can look at these men and these women that have contributed, that looked within themselves and found their power, found their gifts, and used them. Used them not to just benefit a man-made religion, but to benefit the world, to benefit humanity, to benefit all of us. Deconstructing is leaving the flawed and walking into the light, walking into that which is not flawed. It doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes, but it means that the teacher that's behind it, the essence of the teaching that is behind it, is not flawed, is never wrong. That if we hear it correctly and we follow it correctly, that we will never go wrong. The goal is to learn to listen and learn to trust and learn to follow it. Obey the intuition that's within us. But we've been taught by so many religious leaders that don't listen to that, because you're going to be deceived. You have to just follow this book, or follow what that teacher over there said, or follow what that preacher or that mentor over there said. No. Use the things that are around you. Use the things that you've been taught as a guide, a blueprint. But never, ever listen to the others when you feel the stirring of something within you. If something is telling you that you need to study something, that you need to go somewhere and learn something, or whether you need to leave something, then do it. Trusting your own intuition, your own spiritual connection with all things. When you begin to doubt that, and refuse to listen to it, that's when the failures come. That's when all the problems in life come. Because we're all looking for this truth and we don't understand it, and they'll say, well, Richard, you said if I just do this and I do that, then the truth will come and I'll understand it, and that is the truth. But there's something that we have to do in ourselves. And sometimes in deconstructing, it's the hardest thing, because mainstream religion will tell you to ignore yourself and focus on something outwardly. When to find that truth, we must look within us and trust what we hear, trust what we see. And sometimes that can be hard when we've been browbeaten and brainwashed to believe that we can't trust ourselves, we can't trust our intuition. All we can do is trust in that book or trust in these leaders that are above us. It's about determination and a boldness within ourselves to say, you know what, I'm going to trust this. I'm going to follow this. And I might make a mistake, because maybe, in learning to listen to our inner voice, especially during the initial stages of deconstruction, sometimes multiple voices can be heard. And I'm not speaking about audible voices, but you will understand the voices that are within us, the nudges, the instant epiphanies and revelations that happen within us. We will be able to discern the good and the bad. We will discern what is right and what is wrong in time. And it's utmost important for us to remain in a state of connection and meditation, and when we are looking towards spiritual things, that we maintain that connection with spirit. Because there's a rough world out there. It's a mean world out there. And it's not mean because of the divine made it mean, or the creator of all things made it mean. But we, as humanity, have made it mean, made it cruel. Because we have put too much of greed, selfishness, arrogance, and pride. All of these things that we have put into these things, rather than taking and listening to spirit. Because though we are spirits having this physical experience, if we're not careful, our physical essence will override spirit. It will override things, and the flesh will want things that aren't good. Not good for us, it's not good for society. We look around and that's exactly what we see. We see people that have been trained to focus on everything outwardly. They've been trained to believe that in order to say that you have won in this world, that you have to have that great job and that big house and the nice car. And the whole time, nobody, not even the churches or any of the religious institutions, have taught us how to find ourselves, how to find the divinity within ourselves. They constantly point somewhere else, constantly tell you to pray to somewhere else, to something else, rather than looking within yourself. Though you're not praying to yourself, but you're understanding the connection between what is in you, spirit, and the connection of spirit that is within this world. It's within everything. It's within the animals, the plant life, everything. And when you're praying, when you are verbally manifesting what it is that you are needing at that time, you are speaking to the universe. You are speaking to something that is alive everywhere. And I'm trying to speak within terms that anyone can understand. That what you phrase as God is spirit, is energy, is everything that is everything around you and within you. And when you can find that connection, and you are moving within that connection, and you are manifesting within that connection by speaking positive words of affirmation and truth, then those changes in your life occur. We have to understand, and I've talked many times, and trying to get out of strictly, the Christian teaching. But when people are deconstructing, sometimes they need things within that book to give them some kind of foundation. And I tell them, even Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you. Within you. The Pharisees didn't understand that either, because they were looking to God somewhere out in the sky. And that's not the God that we are talking about. There's gods that are considered within this earth that are lowercase gods. They are the authority figures of this earth. But God, the Creator God, the Great White Spirit, whatever it is that you want to label the universe itself, it is that brings truth, brings peace, brings revelation. Sometimes mankind in our religions, we have tried to create all kinds of different fabrications of truth. Sometimes we can create self-fulfilled prophecy. Excuse me. And when deconstructing, we've got to leave all of that behind. We can use some of what we have, and we will when you're moving into more of a pagan path, whatever particular path that may be. Whether it just be a hermetic path, whether it be more, everything from Norse pagan to Wiccan to, there's so many different traditions that you can find within yourself. But this phase of deconstructing is you simply trying to break away from the mainstream, not feeling guilty for breaking away from the mainstream, understanding that what you're doing is the right thing and a good thing, even when family and friends tell you that it's not the right thing. You'll have all kinds of people telling you all kinds of things, and people won't want to listen to you, and that's okay. At this particular time, that's what, Spirit's trying to say. This time is about you. It's not about you trying to teach anything. It's not about you trying to proclaim anything. This is about you. You and Spirit. You and the universe. Becoming one, learning each other. Becoming one again. Remembering who you are. And then when you're ready, and you'll know when you're ready. Because I know sometimes when you start finding that truth, you're excited and you want to tell people about it. And Spirit, the universe will bring people to you. People that won't try to deter you and won't hurt you. But also will create a boldness and a strength within you that when those times come that you have to stand your ground and try to educate and teach people. It's hard to teach people that believe that they have everything they need and have the utmost utter truth, because they believe in what they're doing. They believe that they are doing right. And it's truly hard to get through that wall unless there has been some type of spiritual intervention first. It takes an act of kindness and mercy. It takes a very wise individual to look at someone that is offending you and telling you that you are wrong and that you have failed, and looking at them with love, understanding that they mean good intentions in what they're doing. And Spirit will let you know exactly what you can say, what you shouldn't say. What is the right things to do? Sometimes the right thing to do is nothing. Sometimes just walk away, smile, and, doing all things in love, trying to remain in a spirit of love and kindness. Because that's where we want to stay. I understand that we can't stay there all the time, but that's where we desire to stay. When we find this place of utter connection of spirit, when we find, and I guess it's important before I close that we talk about meditation, that we talk about those times of remember to take time, because it is very important for your spiritual walk after leaving the mainstream religion. Take some time and look through different various shops. Go to the New Age stores, go to the crystal stores, and just look. Just walk through. See what catches your eye. But use these things to help you enter into that state of meditation. In that meditation, you don't want to focus on anything particular. The idea of this meditation is the clearing of your mind. I like to listen to music without words. A lot of Reiki music, a lot of how do I want to say? I think you understand what I'm saying. Just a lot of meditation music that helps you relax, helps you get out of the now, get out of the world. You need to find that quiet space. Try to devote at least 10 to 15 minutes per day. And throughout the day, listen to that music again. Focus on maybe something that you learned in that 10 or 15 minutes. Focus on the visions, the pictures that you might receive during that 10-15 minutes. Sometimes you do hear an audible voice. Sometimes Spirit can speak that way. Not through your ears, but you will understand when you are there, you will understand of what I'm saying. But above all things, remember, this is about finding you, not your flesh, not who you are in this world, but who you are, who you were before this world. You are deconstructing from everything man-made. You are separating yourself from this world while connecting to the spirit of everything within this world. You are separating from the physical and entering into the spiritual, because you are a spiritual entity in a physical experience. In order to find that truth, to find that peace, you have to find yourself. Find out what is important to you. Why are you here? Why did we come to this experience? It's not just to work a 9-to-5 job and pay bills and pay taxes and That's not why we're here. Evil forces have turned it into that. Most people are just walking empty vessels, empty containers, not even understanding who they are. Just robots with a spiritual heartbeat that never wakes up. It's time to wake up, friend. It's time for you to wake up and know who you are. Finish your walk with deconstructing. Be determined, okay, this is what I'm doing. I am leaving that mainstream. And I'm going to find this. Whether it be these podcasts, whether it be a different teacher, maybe it be multiple teachers. Remember the best thing. The teacher within you is the best teacher. Be blessed, everybody, and blessed be. Thank you, everyone. This is Richard Ravenbrook. From my heart to yours, I hope you are blessed. Please be a blessing. Share these podcasts. Share my short videos. Tell the world the work that's being done. Help me open the minds of those so closed. Help me bring into the fold those seeking truth and enlightenment. Be blessed.